Hey you, come, gather around the campfire, and welcome to the party. This is Party Chat, a JRPG podcast where we talk about everything that we love in the world of JRPGs and other Eastern titles. I am one of your hosts, Cameron Hawkins, and with me, again, is my buddy Lucas, and we are here to talk about Battle Train.
Right.
Battle Train is a upcoming roguelike deck builder that is being published by Bandai Namco, which is why we're talking about it. It's like, at first I was like, dude, should we really cover this for the podcast? But it's being published by Bandai. Why not? Let's just do it. You know what I mean?
It was in the same room as Shadow Labyrinth, and at least one guy on the team was like, "Your Gundam Crocs are sick. I worked on those. Thank you for wearing them." That was really weird, but
That's very random.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is, again, a new roguelike deck builder. And this game was really fun. It on paper, didn't really seem like my jam. But once you kind of get the ins and outs of it, it gets addicting pretty quickly. So basically what the premise of Battle Train is that you were on this game show and you were trying to take down this lead guy who definitely has a god complex, and you battle these different champions by building train tracks to destroy their different bases on the map, and you use cards that have different train track pieces to set up the track to ram your train into their base. But then there's other aspects of like using minerals, which give you the currency to use the cards, and so you can extend your turns the more minerals that you build up, and it's a really cool system.
Yeah, it's interesting because it has like a very simple rule set. It's like you build your tracks and you get your currency to pay for the cards, but then it keeps throwing in little ways to trip you up. Like here's some bombs, here's some landmines. The person you're fighting has a weird ability. You can also get different parts for your train that make big changes. It's roguelike, so it's like you get money, and then between stages, maybe you find a shop or whatever. So like there's that element of like not necessarily being in control of what you have.
Yeah, for like our demo, we had the beginning stage, and then once we finished the beginning stage, we got to the special stage where we basically, all that was on the map were these random cards and coins, which allowed you to, which the cards helped you get to this chest. That was the goal, is to get to this chest, but you can also try and build and get as many coins as you can as well. And all of the currency that you get would be used to buy stuff at the shop, whether it be new track pieces or new abilities that would go into your deck for the boss fight. And the abilities could be, oh, your train does 10 more damage this turn, or oh, your train does 30 more damage this turn, but then you have to wait 2 more turns before you can use your train again. So you can't use your train every single turn. There's always a cooldown. But on top of that, whenever you deal damage to the base, there would be a bomb explosion around it, and it blows up the tracks. So like whether it be you or your opponent, you had to rebuild at least a certain point of the tracks to be able to attack again anyway, which was really cool.
Yeah, and one thing that really stuck out to me is it's a deck builder. So you're building your deck, but you're not building your whole deck. Like your hand is split between cards that you have, and then there's like a shared pool of stuff that like you and your opponent are both like guaranteed to access. So you kind of have to like, you can sort of plan the parts of your deck that you can control, but then you also have to react to like what's given to you in addition to that.
Yeah, and then at least for the boss had like special abilities as well, when normally like the other general like levels, they just kind of have the general track pieces. And pretty quickly I realized like, oh, I can't approach this fight the way that I approached previous fights, because they're doing things that, normally only I could do, but now they're doing it too. And so you had to find new ways, because normally the map layout would have 2 stations for both sides, for both you and your opponent. And I found success just using one of the stations the first time I played, the general level. But then when I got to the boss, pretty quickly I was like, oh, I can't do just that to win. I have to utilize both stations, or I'm basically just shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah.
Which I like how they created these systems to encourage you to use every avenue possible, and while still also like playing the game how you want, if that makes sense. It's definitely, I definitely can see why Bandai saw this game and was like, we want to take this under our wing. We see that this game has potential. And I think that for those, again, that love the roguelike deck builder genre, I think that this is a game to keep your eye out on.
Yeah, it's a nice twist because you're doing something that isn't just like fighting monsters and putting up your shields every other turn and whatever. You're playing with train tracks, and you're kind of like indirectly fighting and manipulating the board. So it's got this board game element to it too that I appreciate.
Yeah, it's more of a puzzle roguelike than like a turn-based combat or, action combat roguelike that I think many people are used to. So that's really refreshing, and I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out. I believe there is a demo on Steam currently. So if you are watching this and you're like, oh, this sounds really interesting. Yeah, there's a demo on Steam, and it should be coming out sometime in June. And so I'm excited to check it out. And if this sounds interesting to you, go on Steam and download this demo, and you can play it for free. Any last thoughts, Lucas?
I think that there's also an element of silliness to it that's really got it going for it. Like you get your cosmetic pieces for your train, but then you also get like little decorations and hats and stuff. And apparently you can just stack all that stuff. So like your train will be covered in hats by the end of your run. It just looks stupid for no reason. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that you mentioned it, because it kind of went past me once I was so engaged with the gameplay, is that this game is really funny. And the demo started out with an animated cutscene that kind of reminded me of the latest reboot of Battletoads. If you played that back on Xbox, like this kind of animated, like it kind of felt like a television show vibes. And there is like glimpses of that in the gameplay too, like when you command the train to like hit the base, like the character you're playing as will like say some sort of quip that's like a little cringy, but also like the good kind of cringe.
It was almost like it reminded me of like Venture Brothers, but less edgy, and then with like a little bit of a Dragon Quest rocket slime on the side.
I think that's a great way to describe that. But yeah, Battle Train looks super cool. I'm excited to check it out. I'm excited to see how it is received. Thank you, Lucas, for sharing your thoughts with us. And until next time, we'll catch you later.